Hey everybody, welcome back subscribers, my narcissistic abuse family. Welcome to anyone joining us for the first time. Shout out to Budgeting Dawn. You left a comment on my Black Sheep Going No Contact video and you inspired this video today, this topic about inverted narcissists. Because I've spoken a lot about, my enabling father and how equally toxic he is in conjunction with my narcissistic mother. So if you have a narcissistic parent, whether it's your mother or your father, and you have a parent that plays the supporting role, they're just as toxic by proxy. They abuse you by proxy by not intervening on your behalf, by witnessing this mistreatment of you and not doing anything about it. They just let it happen, and it is so damaging. It is just as offensive, hurtful as the actions against you that your narcissistic parent has taken. I know, I get it. Like, I've said this a bunch of times, but I used to think that there was hope for my enabling father because I was like, oh, he's got to have a shred of decency, common sense in his head. Like, he's got to see how toxic, his wife, my mother is. And I approached him several times about things that she's done in the past that have just been, off the charts wrong, thinking that I would get a, decent response from him, like some type of support. Never ever happened. He allies with her like his life depends on it. It is so hurtful, so frustrating. So Budgeting Dawn told me to look up inverted narcissism. I promise you guys, I read all your comments like it means so much to me. So if you have something to say or you want me to talk about, leave me a comment. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate you all so sincerely. We're navigating through this together and we're doing it. We're getting over it, man. So, all right. So an inverted narcissist is basically the partner, the spouse, the person that has aligned themselves with the narcissist. And what I learned is that, inverted narcissist, it's not a psychological term. You can't find it in the DSM or anything. I don't think. I mean, I'm pretty positive about that. But it's more like a term that's used in the world of narcissistic abuse. But a legitimate term that is equal to it is someone having a dependent personality disorder. That is, you're able to diagnose that in the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Psychology. But if you're not interested in that, you just want to know the application to real life. Inverted narcissist is someone that becomes dependent on the narcissist and will defend them and, stick with them to the end. So you get trampled in the process. Someone with a dependent personality disorder is characterized by the exaggerated need of a person to be looked after or loved. So the dependent person is just overcome with their need to be looked after or loved. So this need leads to a general behavior of obedience, dependence, and fear of separation from their spouse, whoever they hook up with to fill this void. An inverted narcissist is willing, this is another element, They're willing to go the extra mile to do whatever it takes to save their relationship with the narcissist, regardless of the abuse that they're suffering or how miserable they might be. They'll do whatever it takes to keep the relationship because they feel that they cannot exist without it. So, because of their own deficits with self-confidence, a inverted narcissist will intentionally seek to form a relationship with a narcissist. They do this because it will help them develop a sense of identity, and it will help them to feel powerful and useful when they comply with the rules of the narcissist. This is genius. This is definitely my enabling father. Like, I majored in psychology. I can see it from a mile away now, thanks to this newfound information, budgeting Dawn. Thanks to this information about inverted narcissists, this is my enabling father. Like, I never know how to refer to him. Sometimes you'll hear me call him her henchman. It's also an orbiting parent, enabling parent. You know, they're basically the supporting role to the narcissist. It's caused by, like, neglect in childhood, like everything, because nobody screws us up like our parents, we know. They're vulnerable and insecure adults. So, dependent personality disorder. This is someone that has an exaggerated need to be looked after or loved, like I said. It leads to general behavior of obedience and dependence and a fear of separation from their, like I said, whoever they hook up with. They have major difficulties in making decisions, even like everyday stuff, because they need advice and encouragement from other people because they have such low self-esteem again. They also need others to take responsibility for most of, like, the critical elements of their life, like where they live, their job, stuff like that. So that's why they hook up with a narcissist, because narcissists love control, so it's like the perfect marriage. They have difficulty expressing their disagreement. Again, perfect victim for a narcissist, because, you know, they value their relationship more than their own needs. So they have to, whatever the cost, at all costs, they'll maintain this relationship with a narcissist. So they won't speak out against wrongdoings or things they disagree with, whatever. This person will have problems like starting their own projects independently or planning their own projects, activities, because, again, lack of confidence. It's not because of a lack of motivation or energy. There's a distinction. It's their lack of confidence behind it. They will demonstrate excessive efforts to get support and protection from others, even to the point where they volunteer to do things that, like, nobody else wants to do. They'll do it because they're trying to win everyone's support. They also feel uncomfortable and helpless when they're alone because of their exaggerated fear that they're not capable of taking care of themselves. That's generally, like, the overall characteristics that you will see in an inverted narcissist. But like I said, dependent personality disorder is a legitimate diagnosis in the DSM-5. So, like other personality disorders in the DSM, someone needs to fulfill 5 of these criteria in order to be diagnosed. By the way, most of these people will never be diagnosed because they'll never seek help. Like, as long as they're allied with their person, their spouse, whomever, they're not going to seek to improve themselves or to get help. So 5 of the criteria. Here we go. They need to have a difficulty making everyday decisions without an excessive amount of advice or reassurance from others. That's one criteria. Second criteria, they need others to assume responsibility for most major areas in their life. Third criteria, they have difficulty expressing disagreement with others because they fear the loss of support or approval. Fourth one, they have difficulty initiating projects or doing things on his or her own because they have no self-confidence. They question their own judgment, their ability to do these things. They have a lack of confidence. Fifth criteria, they go to excessive lengths to obtain nurturance and support from others to the point of volunteering to do things that are unpleasant. Sixth criteria, they feel uncomfortable or helpless when they're alone because they have exaggerated fears of being unable to care for themselves. The seventh criteria, they urgently seek relationships as a source of care and support when another relationship ends. So they always have to be in a relationship. Number 8 is they are unrealistically preoccupied with fears of being left to take care of themselves, his or herself. So an individual can meet any of these 5 criteria in order to be diagnosed with a dependent personality disorder, which is very much on the opposite end of the spectrum from a narcissistic personality disorder, but that's why they so nicely fit into one another. They toxically complement each other, I guess, but this is definitely my toxic enabling father. He's very much dependent on my narcissistic mother. She runs the show, and he has a deep sense of inadequacy that she is covering for him, I guess. So that's an inverted narcissist. Thank you, Budgeting Dawn, again for your suggestion, your comment. Like I said, you guys, I love your comments. I read every single one of them and I try to respond. So thank you. If you have anything you want me to talk about or you want to get something off your chest, leave it in the comments below. Please give me a thumbs up. I sincerely appreciate that. Subscribe, all that good stuff. We are bumped and we're bruised, but more than anything, we're blessed because we're better people from this abuse, and we're coming out on top because we're educating ourselves and we're stopping the toxicity and the dysfunction right here. God bless you guys.